Hello, dear students. This is the video session uh, in which, in the class, I'm going to discuss something about restoration theater. So far, in the previous classes, we have discussed restoration poetry and restoration essays. And today in the class, I am shifting my talk to theater. You know the theater well. And theater, it was a place where plays were enacted and the audience were presented to watch the plays for recreation and getting some information. It was only the uh, media for the people to gather and watch uh, the play long back. Even during the restoration period, we see the theater and theaters were reopened. Theaters were closed for a long time by the Puritans. When Charles II came to the reign of England, he restored everything, re-established, and he uh, supported, encouraged the writers of the period. And hence, theaters were reopened. The writers began to write plays. The plays were written not for reading only. They were recommended to that is enact, to demonstrate the play. So during the 18th century, in the Restoration period, the people were so happy, they were so liberal, uh, to make a choice of plays and theaters and see the plays. And here, I want to concentrate on a particular playwright of the Restoration period that you are going to study for the second sem now. And the playwright by name William Congreve. William Congreve was an important name in the literature even today. He was such a wonderful writer of the theaters. In this class, let us have a brief a note on a significant writer of the place and a poet, William Congreve. And William Congreve, he wrote Comedy of Manners. Comedy of Manners was one of the dramatic technique of the period, which was so popular during this period. And it was actually popularized by William Congreve himself. He shaped this a lot. He contributed for the progress and development of the comedy of manners in the theaters. And he wrote the wonderful play, The Way of the World. Listen once again. The Way of the World means how the world is. How the world was, how the world is, and how the world will be. For any moment of time or any period of time, any point of time, the title is relevant because here the writer is going to generalize the theme that he has taken for the play and it is entitled as The Way of the World. How the whole world is. The poet is looking at the world. And here, William Congreve, as a poet and as a playwright, he has a great vision of the world. And he had closely observed the world. And he thought over that. And he wanted to present what he got in the play. And that is entitled as The Way of the World. Of the way he is. Of the world is. Right. And let us see now how William Congreve could become a writer, an important writer of all times. What inspired him to write? And what made him to write? Why he has selected the play as a platform to express his views and thoughts and share those to the people of his period. Right. The topic for the session is a note on William Congreve. William Congreve is seen as the man who shaped the English comedy of manners as a restoration playwright in 18th century English literature. As comedy of manners, there was comedy of humors that was well written by Ben Jonson during the Elizabethan period. He was so popular in writing humors. Walpole at the Fox was is a remarkable play which represents comedy humors. As Ben Jonson did a lot to give the people a kind of humor to the audience who are watching the plays and reading the plays. So, William Congreve in the Restoration period, he began to start the comedy of manners. He wrote comedies. Those comedies were meant to correct the manners of the people of his period. He is going to exhibit the manners of the people of this period. And his play, uh, which is holding a mirror to the society and social manners, social etiquettes, social obligations. The notable playwright was lived between 1670 to 1729. He was not only a popular playwright but also a poet, I told you in the beginning itself. He was a poet and a playwright. Usually, poet has a great vision of the world. And here, as a playwright and a poet, William Congreve, he wrote an important play, The Way of the World. He had a friend, a wonderful friend, a pen friend, Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift. He was an important a novelist of the period. And you are going to study his novel to the same semester, that is Gulliver Travels, that we are going to study. Jonathan Swift, one of the a contemporary writer of the William Congreve, a significant novelist of the age whom he met during his college days, particularly at Kilkenny College. He could never forget him for the life. He got him as a friend during his college days, and he was very much loved, respected, and influenced by Jonathan Swift. Jonathan Swift played a very important role in the life of William Congreve to become a writer of the period. He was interested in literature at the early age, as he has the friends of Jonathan Swift at the early age. He had literary figures and their contacts and their communications, and their friendship. That atmosphere made him to get into the world of literature. He has actually was naturally developed a kind of interest towards literature. He was interested in literature, drama, and fashionable life during his college days. How William Congreve got into the world of literature, how he got interest. Let us see that. At the age of 17, that is at the very early age, he wrote a wonderful work, Incognita. His first, the budding writing was Incognita, or Love and Duty Reconciled, in 1692. See, during his college days, he began to write. The first work of him was Incognita, or Love and Duty Reconciled, in 1692. This early work gained him recognition among the men of letters and an entrance into the literary world. The door of the literary world was opened for him at the age of 17, and he could become recognized and identified by the men of letters of the age. His identity began at a very early age as a writer, a popular writer. Artistically, he became a disciple of John Dryden. You see that. I began to speak on William Congreve. With him, I spoke on Jonathan Swift, now important literary figure and critic and dramatist of the Restoration period and classical writer of the age, John Dryden. Such a wonderful writer. The classical writer of the age, a great critic, poet, and playwright. He, that is William Congreve, became the disciple of John Dryden, the student of John Dryden, the follower of John Dryden. He believed in the principles and writings and manners of John Dryden, the ethics of John Dryden. Meeting the John Dryden and to become the disciple of the John Dryden is a wonderful and a remarkable changes in the life of William Congreve. When he became the disciple of the writer like John Dryden, he started writing well, because John Dryden himself was a critic. He is going to correct and edit and support all his writings. He met him through gathering of literary circles held at Will's Coffee House in London. And how he could become the student of John Dryden? He was an external student. He was not a regular student. As he had an interest in the literature, he used to visit literary activities and programs that were held in different institutions like Will's Coffee House, where the literary minds and the laureates and writers were gathering in different kinds of literary activities. And on such one occasion, he met and get acquainted with him, and immediately he could become a disciple. And Dryden himself accepted William Congreve as his mentee, as his student. John Dryden would continue to be a massive supporter of Congreve throughout the life. Dryden, he could continue to be the mentor of William Congreve. William Congreve was so fortunate enough to have a personality like John Dryden. With him, he had written and became so popular and had created a vibration in the restoration theater by shaping and reshaping that is comedy of manners. He influenced him a lot and encouraged him to write well. This support would take the form of panegyrical introductions of some of the Congress latest work. And how, let us see, the Congreve was become a notable playwright of the comedy of manners. What he contributed to the theater by writing comedy of manners. Congreve was a notable playwright of comedy of manners. He shaped and popularized the mode of comedy of manners like Oliver Goldsmith, Sheridan during the Restoration period. There were other writers, that is Oliver Goldsmith and Sheridan, the popular, the playwright of the period. Like him, Congreve too wrote. Sentimental comedies were written, comedy of manners were written during that period. His use of satire was the most unique in the comedy of manners, and well-written dialogues or plays were interesting. The dialogues that you were writing for the play was very interesting. He was identified as a good writer of dialogues for the plays. And wonderful the technique that he has used for satire in the comedy of manners. He achieved fame in 1693 when he wrote some of the most popular English plays of the Restoration period. It was a unique period in the development of theatre. So far, there was only tradition and practice of acting female role by male only. When when you go long back, when we see the theaters of Greek, Roman theaters, and French theaters, any theaters, where the female characters, even the classical plays and tragedies, where female role was played by male only. But here, in the Restoration period, the tradition was totally broken, and female actresses were encouraged and recommended and supported to enact their role they only on the stage. When the female played the role, when the female character was played by female, it was more meaningful, effective, and it was lively. So it was a change that has taken place during his writings. But this tradition was broken, and female actress came forward and began to act themselves on the stage. Congreve was fortunate enough to uh, demonstrate his plays. There was a paradigm shift in making female roles by women only. Female roles were to be played uh, predominantly by the women. This shift is allowing women to perform, could be seen in the works of Congreve. It was actually started with the place of William Congreve. And even in the play, the way of the world, we could see the dominant roles were played by women rather than the male. Let us see the tradition of woman actress at the ground. These favorites of the playwright were a woman by name of Mrs. Anne Brace Dryden. She was the actress that went on to hold many of the female lead roles in the works of William Congreve. William Congreve gave a wonderful platform to the women, and many women like Mrs. Anne Brace Gradle played many roles in different the plays of William Congreve. And this is the trend was created, and it was also a kind of support for William Congreve to write the plays like this. The trend of women actors had created a ground for plays of Congreve, and he became popular writer of the Comedy of Manners during this period. Let us see important contributions of William Congreve to the literary world. That is important works that I want to list out. The first and foremost, the work, the play it was written by William Congreve was The World Bachelor. It was published in 1693. And second one, Double Leela. It was published in 1694. And Love for Love. It is another important play of Congreve. It was published in 1695. The Way of the World that we are going to study in the second sem. It was published in 1700. And the fifth, the play that is Tragedy, The Mourning Bride, which was published in 1697. This is how he has contributed a lot to the restoration theatre, both comedies and tragedies. And his playwriting career was successful. The entire the atmosphere, literary atmosphere, and influence of Dryden, the great literary figure of the period. He would become a mentor to the Congreve. He was so lucky and fortunate enough to have such a kind of personality and the grace of such a person and a close friend that is another subject. Important literary figures. They had friend and a teacher. With this background, William Congreve wrote a lot and become so popular even today in the literature. Now, I am going to end this session with a brief introduction to the William Congreve in the restoration theatre. Thank you for listening. Let us meet in the next session. Thank you very much.